Hello and welcome back to Blackwatch Intel. My name is Crashy, and today we're going to be diving into some Moira talk. Now, the thought is this: Mercy has slowly fallen out of the meta, and she's actually still okay. We've already talked about what I think they should do to her, how I think they should bring her back a little bit, because I do think it is a bit of an overnerf. We've talked about that. Let's leave that in the past, and let's talk a little bit about Moira. So, obviously, Moira is very strong. And it makes you wonder, especially, after launch. Let me preface this a little bit. I do this all the time. After launch, I questioned her strength. It's like, is she OP? Is she not OP? Is she good? And it was like very clear, like, yeah, Moira's really good. So you hit this point where you know that Moira's really good, but because of the Mercy meta and just how good Mercy Zenyatta was, and different combinations with Mercy Ana or Mercy Lucy or whatever the case may be, even Mercy Moira, it's almost like you couldn't really analyze her very well. Like, you couldn't even put the attention toward Moira to understand how much of an impact this hero is having. Now, I'm starting to watch her take over kind of like the main healer role in a lot of situations and just be a strong throughput healer in general. And it does make me kind of wonder, is this hero OP? And I want to go on ahead and answer it very reluctantly and say that I do think she's a little overpowered. Originally, when Moira came out, I think I did maybe a hero analysis video, or I was just talking about her in general. And the one thing I said was, Moira's really good. I don't think she's OP, but I do kind of think she gets her ult too fast. That definitely still stands, but I'm just looking at the things I'm capable of doing on this hero, and I don't know, man. It's pretty nuts. So the gameplay you're watching right now, I doubt we'll get to the very end of it because it was a very long game, but I ended the game with 49 eliminations and 9 deaths. I ended the game with silver damage somewhere in like 10k area and like 19,000 healing. So I had like 3 gold medals and like a silver damage medal. And I wasn't like... The weird thing is like, I could see how someone would tunnel vision on Moira and just do damage, or would not do enough damage and not get the full effectiveness out of her. But I feel like when you're playing Moira to her max potential, you find that balance of having to do damage and healing. So it kind of goes like this: you heal and keep people healed up, but then you have to start doing damage so that way you can keep your heal meter high enough. So if you're just doing damage, you're wasting the heal meter that you would be building because you didn't use the heal meter first. And if you're only healing, then you're not doing enough damage, not helping the team by doing damage, literally helping the team by doing damage, and you're not filling your healing meter up. As for the orbs are very situational. I will never tell someone, at least for now, which orb is better. In my opinion, a damage orb is just as important as a healing orb. Obviously, it doesn't help you with your resource management at all, whereas kind of using the healing orb does help a little bit because it gives you time to throw a healing orb and then do damage, so you're healing and doing damage at the same time. But a damage orb really helps because it gives damage out, it puts people in situations where they can't really avoid damage, and then it helps you build your ultimate, which if you're building tons of ultimates like she does, then you're adding more and more value to the table. So the thing about Moira is that like everything she does is so elusive and so like self-sustaining. If she throws a healing orb, she self-heals if she's hurt. If she's healing people, she's healing quite a bit, scattered out in an AoE. The only thing she really doesn't have is verticality, but if you throw an orb in a direction, that's, obviously a viable option to use. So she does still kind of help there. She can still kind of heal at range. And if she has coalescence, you can get it where it needs to go. You can get the healing where it needs to go. So Moira is pretty well-rounded. Obviously, I don't think she's as useful as, Mercy in terms of like healing like a Pharah or a Genji in some situations, but she can get the job done more or less. Not necessarily with Pharah, but you know what I mean. She can get the verticality healing, and she can get her positioning pretty well and get the healing job done. Now, I was thinking about how much damage she does and how the, just the alternate fire with the self-healing is so hard to get by. You have to have a lot of kill conviction, and you have to really hammer down on her, force the fade out, because that is a defensive cooldown, force the fade, and then finish her off. So I don't know. I do think that she does a little too much across the board. And if I had to bring up an idea for how to nerf her, I think overall, I would either, and this is just so hypothetical because I'm not really sure yet, it's just kind of where I'm at right now. Right now, I do think that she's a little too strong, but not very much, because we don't want weak healers. You know what I mean? Like, Zenyatta's strong, but he's not strong because he's healing a crazy amount. He's strong because he has like insta-kill potential and a ton of damage, you know, added to the team with Discord Orb. Not to mention the super defensive ult that someone like Moira doesn't have because she's not, you know, Lucio or Zenyatta. So I do think that she's a little too strong, but I think it's in the self-sustaining factor. I think that she can just keep herself alive a little bit too easily. And so in terms of changing Moira, I think the only thing that I would really consider doing right now is maybe reducing the rate that she gets her ultimate, because that has consistently been kind of crazy to me. Now, obviously it's not the best ultimate out there, so maybe not by much, 5-10% increase on, you know, the rate that she gets it, or the amount of value that she has to do before she gets the ultimate. And then I think, you know, I don't want to nerf her damage. I don't want to nerf her self-healing, because I do think that plays well with her. And it's, you know, you can kill her. You can definitely put the damage out and kill her. It is really strong and very powerful. But I do think that the better response to that kind of insane resilience that she does have would be to raise the cooldown on Fade. So maybe a couple seconds longer, and just keep her a little bit more grounded and more in the plane of the field, rather than, you know, going from self-healing and doing damage, self-sustaining herself, and then, you know, getting the hard pressure and instantly fading out, and then doing that on a cycle where she's self-healing, self-sustaining, and, you know, doing healing, doing damage, and then boom, she fades away. So it's like, it almost feels like sometimes you can't commit to Moira because she's just too hard. She's just too elusive. She's too risky to go for. And I think that really mostly stems from Fade. So this is a pretty wide open discussion for me, because like I said, I do think she's a little OP, but it's not very much. I don't think she's a problem per se. I just think I could see a situation where she might get tuned down a very tiny amount. So what do you guys think? Does she charge her ult too fast? Does she do too much damage? Is she self-healing too much? What do you think about lowering or raising the cooldown of Fade, rather? So let me know in the comment section down below. I appreciate you for checking out this video. Please do not leave without leaving a like and subscribe for future content. I appreciate it again, and I'll see you on the next video.